Music thumped through the walls of Marcus's family's lake house. The summer party was loud, messy, crowded with people I barely knew. Yet one sentence kept circling in my head. Don't mess with my sister, Oliver. I mean it. Marcus had said it weeks ago, sharp and final. At the time, I laughed it off. Tonight, the warning cut louder than the bass shaking the floorboards. I gripped a drink, scanning the room. My chest tightened when I spotted her. Alina? She stood across the living room, in a red dress that looked deliberately chosen to stir trouble. Her eyes landed on me as if she had been waiting. The corner of her mouth tilted into a smirk, and I felt Marcus's warning press harder in my skull. Marcus slapped my shoulder, pulling me out of the trance. Man, this is wild. Glad you made it. Wouldn't miss it, I said, forcing my eyes back to him. You'll help me keep things under control, right? His tone turned serious. Especially when it comes to Alina. She's here somewhere. Just don't get pulled into her games. Games? I asked. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. She loves attention. She'll test you. Don't take the bait. She's my sister. You're my best friend. Lines don't cross. I nodded. Got it. But the moment Marcus walked off to grab another beer, I felt her presence closing in. Elena's voice slid into my ear. So you're the one he trusts. I turned, and there she was. Inches away, her perfume sweet and distracting. You're Alina, I said carefully. And you're Oliver. Marcus talks about you all the time. I had to see for myself. Her gaze dragged over me like a challenge. He tells you to stay away from me, doesn't he? My throat went dry. Something like that? She laughed softly. Of course he did. Before I could respond, someone bumped into her. She stumbled against me, her hand resting on my chest for balance. For a second too long, she didn't move it. You're steady, she teased, pulling back slowly. Good thing, because I can be. Unpredictable. I exhaled sharply. You like making things complicated. Her eyes locked on mine. I like seeing who listens to Marcus and who listens to themselves. Someone called her name from across the room, and she stepped back, but her gaze lingered until she finally turned away. I tried shaking it off. But later, in the crowded hallway, she appeared again. You don't look like you're enjoying the party, she said. Maybe I'm just not used to being watched, I replied. Watched? Her eyebrow arched. Do you think I've been watching you? You've barely looked away. She grinned, leaning close enough for her hair to brush my arm. Then maybe you should ask yourself why. I swallowed hard. Because you like trouble. Or maybe, she whispered, because I like you. Her words set fire to my chest. I opened my mouth to answer, but Marcus's laugh echoed nearby. Alina straightened instantly, her expression switching to casual innocence as Marcus rounded the corner. There you two are, Marcus said, oblivious. Oliver, grab another round with me. Sure, I said quickly. As we walked off, I glanced back. Alina leaned against the wall, smirking like she had just planted a secret between us. Later that night, I tried escaping the noise, slipping upstairs. The hallway was quiet until footsteps followed. Running away? Elena's voice again, soft and taunting. I needed air, I said. You needed distance. She stepped closer, her heels clicking against the wood. But I don't think you actually want distance, Alina. Marcus will never know what you don't tell him. Her eyes gleamed. Under the dim light, this is reckless. This is fun. She leaned so close I felt the heat of her breath. So tell me, Oliver, are you going to listen to him or to me? The hallway spun with silence, every choice pressing in. My heart thundered in my chest, louder than the party downstairs, and I couldn't move. Asterisk, the party began to fade, but I couldn't settle. I had spent the whole night trying to dodge Elena's gaze, yet she had a way of pulling me back. The bass was still thumping, glasses clinking, people laughing too loud. I slipped into the kitchen to escape. The moment I stepped inside, she was there. Leaving already? Her voice slid across the room. I just needed water, I said, reaching for a glass. She leaned against the counter, the red dress clinging to her curves. That's boring. Everyone else is drinking. Maybe I like boring. She stepped closer, eyes locked on mine. No, you like safe. There's a difference. I filled the glass and kept my eyes down. Safe keeps friendships intact. Her laugh was soft, teasing. So it's true. He told you to stay away from me. I took a sip, avoiding her smirk. Marcus trusts me. Marcus controls me, she whispered, sliding her hand along the counter until her fingers brushed mine. I froze. It was the lightest touch. Barely there, but it sent a jolt straight through me. You should stop, I said. Her eyes glinted. You didn't move. I set the glass down hard. Because I'm trying not to make a mistake. She leaned in, so close I could feel her perfume wrap around me. Or because you're curious. I stepped back. But she followed. Alina Oliver, she echoed, voice low. As if my name itself was a secret. I gripped the edge of the counter. This isn't a game. It is for me, she whispered, tilting her head. Scared of breaking his rules? Her hand slid across my wrist, deliberately slow. I pulled away, but my chest burned. I'm not scared. I just don't betray the people I care about. She smiled, dangerous and knowing. That's noble, but you're lying to yourself. The kitchen door swung open. Marcus's voice broke the spell. Oliver, there you are. Been looking for you? Alina stepped back, her expression calm, as if nothing had happened. My pulse still pounded in my ears. Yeah, I said quickly. I just needed some air. Marcus walked in, grabbed a beer from the fridge. Didn't notice the fire that had just passed between us. Come on, man. Everyone's asking where my best friend disappeared to. Be right there, I said, as he walked out. Lena's eyes found mine again. She mouthed a single word. See. I stayed frozen until Marcus's footsteps faded. You almost got me caught, I muttered. Her lips curved. Almost makes it more exciting. I shook my head. You're reckless. You like it. I shouldn't, but you do, she said, her voice dipping softer. I can feel it. I stepped past her toward the door, refusing to give her the satisfaction of an answer. She didn't follow. She just laughed quietly, the sound chasing me out of the kitchen. The rest of the night blurred. I stuck close to Marcus, refusing to glance at Alina, though I felt her gaze on me every time I moved. By the time the party thinned and I slipped into the guest room upstairs, I thought maybe I'd finally shaken her off. I sat on the bed, phone in my hand, heart still unsteady. A notification buzzed. Unknown number. You're more fun when you're not pretending. I stared at the screen. The words burning hotter than her touch, and I knew sleep wasn't coming tonight. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling, the glow of my phone lighting the room. Sleep wasn't coming. My head kept replaying the brush of Elena's hand against mine. The smirk she gave me when Marcus was looking the other way and the text she sent. The phone buzzed again, still awake. I typed back, trying not to be. Her reply came instantly. Good. Talk to me. I sighed and hit call before I could stop myself. Her voice poured into my ear, low and intimate. I thought you'd ignore me. I should have. But you didn't, she teased. Why? Because you don't listen to boundaries? You like that I don't, Alina, I warned. What? She said, softer now. It's just talking. I sat up against the headboard. Talking with you is never just talking. Then maybe you should hang up. I stayed silent. You won't, she whispered. I rubbed my forehead. What do you want from me? Her tone shifted, lighter but edged with something raw. For once, I want someone to listen. Not Marcus, not my friends, not anyone who already decided who I am. Just you. I hesitated. You make it sound like everyone's wrong about you. Everyone thinks I'm trouble. That's the word they use. Trouble. But no one asks why I push. No one asks why I test people. My chest tightened. So tell me, she breathed out. Because if I don't push, no one sees me at all. The confession cracked through me. I lowered my voice. That's not true. It is, she insisted. Marcus sees me as his little sister. Guys see me as a challenge. Girls see me as competition. No one actually sees me. I see you right now. She went quiet, then let out a faint laugh. Careful, Oliver. That almost sounded like you mean it. I do mean it. You shouldn't. You wanted me to listen. I'm listening. Her voice trembled. You're different from the others. That's why Marcus likes you. That's why it scares me, I frowned. Why would that scare you? Because if you look at me long enough, you might see the real me. And I don't know if I can handle that. I gripped the phone tighter. Maybe you should let someone see the real you, she whispered.
Oh.
And maybe I want that someone to be you. The air in the room grew heavy. My pulse thudded in my ears. Alina, I muttered, you're pulling me into something I can't get out of. Do you want out? I shut my eyes. I don't know. You don't sound sure. That's because I'm not. Silence. Pressed for a moment before she sent another voice note. Her words wrapped around me like velvet. I don't want to be the bad girl with you. I just want to feel real for once. I listened 3 times before answering. You're making it hard to think straight. Good, she whispered live. Stop thinking. Just feel, Alina. Yes. This is dangerous. So is pretending you don't want me. I stood and paced across the room, my bare feet tapping the wooden floor. You don't understand what you're asking. I understand exactly. I want you to stop protecting Marcus at the cost of yourself. He doesn't own every part of you. This isn't about him owning me. It's about me not betraying him. Her breath crackled through the speaker. If you really cared, you'd come outside right now. My heart slammed against my ribs. I looked toward the window, the moonlight spilling across the yard. I knew she'd be waiting. Asterisk, I slipped quietly out the side door, careful not to wake anyone inside. The night air was heavy, damp with the faint smell of rain that never came. My chest felt tighter with every step toward the streetlight where I already knew she would be. She was there, leaning against the pole like she had been waiting forever. The glow caught the silk of her dress, her hair falling wild across her shoulders. You came, she said softly, her lips curving like she had already won. I shouldn't be here, I muttered, shoving my hands into my pockets. You know I shouldn't? Her laugh was low, dangerous. Then why are you? I swallowed hard. I had no answer. She stepped closer, her heels clicking on the pavement. Do you know how boring it is in that house? Everyone watching, judging, pretending. Then there's you. The only one who doesn't look at me like I'm a problem to be solved? Alina, I warned. Though my voice was barely more than a whisper, she tilted her head. You like saying my name? I can hear it. I shook my head, but my throat was dry. This is wrong. Marcus. Marcus. She cut me off, rolling her eyes. Always Marcus. Do you ever think about what you want, Oliver? Or is it just about keeping him happy? I flinched. He trusts me. That means something. Her hand brushed against mine then, light as a feather. My body stiffened, but I didn't pull away. She dragged her fingers slowly until they hovered between mine. Like one wrong move could make them lock. Feels different when it's me, doesn't it? She whispered. I stepped back, but my pulse was racing. You're crossing lines, and you're letting me, she shot back. Her eyes burning through me. I opened my mouth to argue, but then headlights cut across the street, bright and sharp. My stomach dropped. Marcus, I breathed. Her lips curled into a wicked smile. Perfect timing. The car rolled up slow, the engine humming in the quiet street. I could see his silhouette behind the wheel, relaxed. Unaware? Act normal, Alina whispered, brushing her shoulder against mine deliberately before stepping back like nothing had happened. I forced my breathing steady, pushing my hands back into my pockets to hide how they were still trembling. Marcus parked and climbed out, shutting the door with that easy grin he always wore. You two out here? What are you doing? Fresh air, I said quickly. It was stuffy inside. Alina smirked at me before answering him sweetly. Oliver was just making sure I didn't get lost. You know how I wander? Marcus chuckled, coming closer. That sounds about right. Always causing trouble, Alina. She tilted her head, all innocence. Would you have me any other way? He shook his head with a laugh. Not a chance. I tried to smile, but my chest was tight. The whole time, Elena's eyes never left mine, not even when Marcus turned to her. It felt like she was daring me to break, daring me to show something I shouldn't. You ready to head in? Marcus asked me, clapping a hand on my shoulder. Yeah, I said quickly. My voice cracked, and I prayed he didn't notice. But Elena noticed. I saw the flicker of satisfaction in her smile. Marcus turned back toward the house. But before he did, he glanced at me again. Oliver, do me a favor tomorrow. What's that? I asked, forcing calm. Look out for her. I can't always be there, and she doesn't exactly make it easy on herself. Just make sure she's okay. The words punched the air out of me. I nodded, even though my stomach twisted with guilt. Of course, Elena's smirk deepened, her eyes glittering in the dim light. She didn't say a word, but she didn't have to. She knew exactly what Marcus had just done. He had placed her in my hands, without the slightest clue what that meant. I followed them back toward the door, my heartbeat pounding in my ears, my mind screaming to stop this before it went any further. But Elena glanced over her shoulder one last time, her smile slow, knowing dangerous. And I realized it was already too late. I tried to bury myself in the quiet of the living room the next morning. The curtains were half drawn, sunlight streaking across the couch. I thought maybe I'd get a moment alone. But then I heard her footsteps. Elena drifted in like she owned the place. Coffee mug in hand, wearing a loose sweater that slipped too easily off one shoulder. She dropped onto the couch beside me, too close, her knee brushing mine, as if the whole room wasn't wide open. Comfortable? She asked, sipping slowly. I was, I said, shifting slightly away. She laughed under her breath. Relax, Oliver. I'm not going to bite. You don't have to. You're already testing me. Her head tilted, eyes sharp. Testing you or tempting you? I clenched my jaw. Does it matter? Either way, you need to stop. Her voice dropped low. Why? Because Marcus asked you to babysit me? Or because you're scared of what might happen if you don't run away? I turned toward her, heat rising in my chest. This isn't a game. She leaned in closer, her shoulder brushing mine. It's exactly a game. You just don't like that I'm better at it. I stood, needing space, but she grabbed my wrist. Her fingers were warm, lingering too long. Sit, she whispered, tugging gently. Don't make it obvious. He could walk in any second. The thrill hit me before I could stop it. The danger of being caught. I sank back down, fists tightening on my knees. She smiled knowingly. See, you like the risk? I shook my head. You're wrong. Her voice was soft, teasing. Then why are your hands shaking? I stared down, realizing she was right. She set her mug on the table, leaned back, and lowered her voice even more. I'm not like they think. I don't want easy. I want real. And you, Oliver, you feel real. I forced a breath out. You're reckless. Reckless feels alive. She angled her face toward mine, her lips hovering close. And you're starving for something you won't admit. I pulled back an inch. You're Marcus's, her eyes narrowed. Say it. Marcus's what? Girlfriend? Property? Is that what you think I am? That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? She pressed, her knee sliding against mine again. Because I hear you hesitate every time you say his name. Like you want to stop yourself before the truth slips out. What truth? I asked, my voice rough. That you want me. The words hit harder than I expected. My throat tightened, my pulse hammering so loud I swore she could hear it. Elena, I warned. But it sounded weak. She smiled slowly, victorious. I knew it. I stood again, desperate for distance, pacing to the other side of the room. This will end badly. Her laugh was low, deliberate. Then maybe that's the fun part. I turned sharply. You think this is fun? I think, she said, standing now too, crossing the space until she was inches away. That you've been dying for someone to see you? Not the perfect friend, not the loyal shadow. Just you. My chest rose and fell hard. You don't know me. She looked straight into me. I know enough. Enough to see you don't run because you hate me. You run because you're terrified you'll stay. I froze. She was too close to write, her hand lifted, fingers tracing the edge of my shirt sleeve. Say it doesn't thrill you. Say my being this close doesn't keep you awake at night. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. Her smirk grew. Exactly, I could feel myself slipping, losing ground. Every second with her was fire. Burning through everything I thought I believed, Alina, I managed, voice barely steady. Marcus trusts me. He asked me to look out for you. And you are, she whispered. Just not the way he imagined. I stepped back again, trying to breathe. This can't happen. But it already is, she said, her eyes locked on mine. The silence stretched thick and dangerous until she finally leaned closer. Her lips brushed my cheek, soft, deliberate, leaving fire in their wake. And then I heard the door click open. Oliver Marcus's voice rang from behind me. I spun, guilt flooding through me as he stepped inside. Holding a bag of groceries like nothing was wrong, my cheeks still burned where she had kissed me. Alina sank back onto the couch, sipping her coffee again. Her smile hidden in the rim of the cup. I stood frozen, praying he hadn't seen what just happened. Knowing one wrong look would give everything away, Marcus dropped the grocery bags onto the counter with a grin. You two survived without me. I forced a laugh, my cheeks still hot from Alina's kiss. She kept the place noisy. Alina smirked into her coffee. You know me? Marcus shook his head. I don't know how you deal with her, Oliver. She's exhausting. Somehow, I said quickly, trying to keep my voice steady. I manage, he clapped my shoulder, oblivious. Good man. I owe you. My stomach twisted. I wanted to confess everything and run at the same time. But Elena's calm stare pinned me in place. Later, while Marcus unpacked the groceries, she drifted close, her whisper grazing my ear. See? He'll never suspect. I stiffened. You're insane. Her lips curved. Or maybe I just know you better than you know yourself. I turned sharply, whispering back. You're going to get me killed. Not if you play it right. She brushed past me, deliberately slow, and Marcus called out for her to set the table. Dinner was loud. Marcus talking about work and laughing at his own stories. I tried to focus, nodding when he looked my way, but my pulse wouldn't calm. Alina sat across, her foot grazing mine under the table like nothing mattered but me. I jerked slightly. She didn't stop. Marcus noticed my shift. You good? Yeah, I muttered, forcing a smile. Just tired. Elena's eyes flicked up, innocent on the surface but burning underneath. Maybe he needs dessert, she teased, pushing her plate toward me. Marcus laughed. You can have mine too. He deserves it for putting up with you. I swallowed hard. Thanks, Alina smirked, sliding her fork into her mouth slowly, never breaking eye contact. I gripped my glass so tightly I thought it might shatter. Marcus leaned back, completely relaxed. I should grab another bottle from the cellar. He stood and left the room. The moment he was gone, Lena's voice was low, aimed only at me. You're shaking again, I glared. Stop. Why? You're addicted already. I pushed my plate aside. This is cruel, she tilted her head. Cruel would be pretending I don't see what you want. I leaned forward, my voice sharp. You're playing with fire. Her smile widened. So are you. Marcus returned with the wine, humming like he couldn't feel the tension choking the air. He poured each of us a glass and raised his own. Two old friends and family who can survive under one roof. We clinked glasses. I forced mine to my lips, praying the wine would drown the storm inside me. The rest of dinner blurred. Marcus rambling about plans for the weekend. I nodded when he looked my way, laughed when expected, but every nerve in me was tuned to Alina. She leaned back casually, but her foot pressed harder against mine beneath the table, deliberate, claiming me in silence. I wanted to move, to pull away, but I stayed frozen, betraying myself with every second I let her linger. Marcus lifted his glass again. Oliver, promise me something. I cleared my throat. What? Keep an eye on her tomorrow. I'll be gone half the day. My stomach dropped. Marcus, you're the only one I trust, he said firmly. Elena's lips parted in the faintest smile. Eyes locked on me across the table. I forced a nod. Of course, Marcus leaned back, satisfied. Good. That's settled. I looked down at my plate, refusing to meet Elena's gaze. But then I felt it. Her hand sliding under the table, brushing against mine. My heart pounded. I tried to pull back, but she laced her fingers through mine. Gripping tight, I looked up at her. Panic in my eyes, but she only smiled sweetly. As if nothing was happening, Marcus kept talking, completely unaware. Her grip tightened. She wasn't letting go. The house was quiet, too quiet. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to will myself to sleep. My head spun with Marcus's words from dinner, with Elena's hand gripping mine beneath the table. I thought if I stayed still long enough, a storm inside me would fade. Then I heard it, the soft creak of my door opening. I sat up instantly. Who's there? The moonlight through the blinds caught her figure first. Elena slipped inside, the door closing with a click behind her. She wore a pale nightdress, thin straps brushing her shoulders, the hem barely grazing her thighs. She didn't speak at first, just walked to the edge of my bed and sat down like she belonged there. My chest tightened. What are you doing in here? She tilted her head, smiling faintly. Couldn't sleep? You have your own room? I wanted yours. Her voice was low. Teasing, but there was something softer underneath. Elena. This is insane, I whispered, pulling the blanket higher as if it could shield me. If Marcus finds you here, he won't, she cut in, stretching her leg so her bare knee brushed against mine. I pulled back, gripping the sheets. Why are you doing this to me? Her eyes locked on mine. Because I like seeing you lose control. I swallowed hard. This isn't a game. Everything is a game, she whispered, leaning closer. And the best games are the ones you're not supposed to play. Her shoulder brushed mine, her hair falling across my arm. The faint scent of her perfume wrapped around me, dragging me under. I forced a breath, but it came shaky. Elena, I said firmly, you're Marcus's sister. He trusts me. Her smile faded slightly, her tone dipping lower. And that's exactly why this feels so good. I like being the one he can't have, the one you're not allowed to want. My pulse raced. So that's all this is to you? Some thrill? She studied me, eyes glinting in the dark. Maybe I like the way you look at me when you think no one's watching. Maybe I like knowing you're too scared to touch me, but you can't stop imagining it. I clenched my fists, my throat dry. You're cruel, or honest, she countered, shifting closer, her nightdress brushing against my arm. You think I don't notice? The way your voice changes when you say my name? The way your eyes avoid mine, but always find their way back? I turned my head away. You're going to destroy everything. Her voice softened. Maybe I don't care. The silence between us grew heavier. She leaned in, close enough that her hair tickled my neck. My body tensed as her lips hovered by my ear. You want to know a secret? She whispered. I forced the word out. What? I don't do this with anyone else. Just you. My chest tightened. Why me? She smiled faintly. Because you're the only one stupid enough to fight it and still stay? Her words sliced through me. Part of me wanted to push her away, to tell her to leave, but another part wanted to believe her. I looked at her, voice low. You're dangerous, and you're already mine, she whispered back. I shook my head, trying to resist. You don't mean that? Her hand slid across the blanket, her fingers brushing against mine. Say you don't want me, Oliver. Look me in the eye and say it. I opened my mouth, but no words came. She smirked, satisfied. Exactly. I tried again, forcing strength into my voice. You're playing with me, maybe, or maybe. I'm giving you what you're too afraid to ask for. The silence was thick, suffocating. My pulse thundered in my ears. Then, just as she leaned even closer, there was a sharp knock at the door. Oliver, Marcus's voice called. Muffled through the wood, Alina froze, eyes locked on mine. A daring smile tugging at her lips. My heart slammed against my ribs. Asterisk. Marcus leaned against the doorway while I was pouring coffee. His eyes studied me longer than usual. "You've been distracted," he said flatly. I forced a laugh. "Work's been on my mind." That's all. His stare didn't soften. "Oliver, listen to me. Alina is everything to me. If anyone ever hurt her, I'd never forgive it." The mug nearly slipped from my hand. "Why would you even say that?" "Because I see the way people look at her. I see the way temptation works. She's trusting. Too trusting. And I protect her with everything I have." I swallowed hard, keeping my voice calm. "You don't need to warn me. I'd never cross that line." Marcus stepped closer, his voice low. "Make sure you don't. I've known you for years. You're like family, but family doesn't get passes when it comes to her." His words hit like a knife. I nodded quickly, hiding the storm rising in my chest. "Understood." He clapped me on the shoulder with a forced smile. "Good. That's all I needed to hear." When he left, I sat down, gripping the edge of the table. My heart was pounding. Every warning he gave made Elena's presence burn hotter in my mind. Later that day, she cornered me in the hallway, her voice a hushed tease. "He's been talking to you, hasn't he?" I tried to brush past, but she blocked me with a sly grin. "He's protective," I muttered. "He loves you." Her eyes flickered with something sharp. "Protective? Try controlling. He wants me to be perfect, the image of the wife he shows off to his friends. Do you know how exhausting that is?" "That's not how he sees it," I said. "Of course you'd defend him," she whispered. "You always do. But you don't know what it's like when the doors close and the lights go out. You don't know what it feels like to live in his shadow." I clenched my fists. "You're twisting this. He's proud of you." She leaned in closer, her voice dripping like honey. "Proud or possessive? Think about it. He doesn't even see me anymore. But you do. You see me every second." My breath caught as she brushed her hand along my arm. I pulled back, shaking my head. "You're trying to make me believe this is about him? But it's not. It's about you." Her smile curved wickedly. "And you. Don't pretend it's one-sided, Elena. Stop. Why should I?" She pressed. "He'll never suspect. He trusts you more than anyone. That makes this delicious. That makes it real." I shut my eyes, trying to block out her words, that they crawled inside me like fire. She lowered her voice even more. "He wants to control me. But with you, I feel free. You make me feel alive. And you know it." I snapped my eyes open, meeting her gaze. "You're playing with fire, and you're dragging me into it. Then burn with me," she whispered. I shook my head again, desperate to ground myself. "You don't care about me? You care about the thrill of being the one he can't have." For a moment, her face tightened. Then she smirked. "Maybe. Or maybe I just like watching you fall apart every time I touch you." I stepped back, my chest heavy. "You're cruel." Her expression softened, as if she'd peeled back a mask. "Or maybe I'm honest. Maybe I'm the only one brave enough to admit what we both feel." I tried to steady my breathing. "Marcus trusts me. He trusts you. Don't destroy that." She reached for me, grabbing my wrist firmly. "Don't talk about trust. You already crossed that line the moment you let me close." Her grip sent a chill through me. My voice dropped to a whisper. "Why me? Out of everyone, why me?" Her eyes darkened. "Because you're his. And if I can take you, it means he never really had me. It means I win." My stomach turned. "This isn't a game," she smiled, sharp and dangerous. "To you, it isn't. To me, it's survival." I pulled my hand back, trembling. "You're going to ruin everything." Her laugh was low, taunting. "Maybe everything deserves to be ruined." I stared at her, searching for a trace of sincerity. "Do you even feel anything for me, or is this all about Marcus?" She stepped closer, inches away, her breath brushing my lips. I feel enough to claim you. That's all that matters. My body tensed, caught between fear and want. Then she grabbed my face with both hands, her nails grazing my skin. Her voice was firm, almost desperate. You're mine. Don't forget it. I noticed it first in passing. A story she told Marcus at breakfast didn't match what she whispered to me the night before. Alina said she was shopping yesterday. Marcus mentioned casually while buttering his toast. I froze mid-bite. She had told me she was at her friend's place. I forced a nod. Yeah, she mentioned that, but my stomach tightened. Later, when I caught her alone by the window, I lowered my voice. Why did you lie to him? Her smile didn't falter. Lie about what? You told me you were with your friend. He thinks you were shopping. She brushed her hair back lazily. Does it matter? It matters to me, I said firmly. Her eyes sparkled, as if my frustration entertained her. Oh, Oliver, you're keeping track of every little thing I say now? That's cute. I stepped closer, not letting her charm distract me. It's not cute. It's dangerous. If he starts connecting the wrong dots, he'll look at both of us. She tilted her head, her voice turning sharp. So now you care about his feelings more than mine? I care about the truth, I shot back. Are you lying to me too? For the first time, her smirk faded. Alina, I pressed, what am I to you? Am I just another way to push back at him? Her silence cut through me, heavier than words. Finally, she stepped forward, her hand grazing my chest. You're more than that. You're the only one who sees me for who I am. That's not an answer, I said, my jaw tight. She studied me, then suddenly leaned in and pressed her lips to mine. The kiss was deep, urgent, as if she could bury my questions under the heat of her mouth. I should have pulled away. I didn't. Her hands cupped my face, forcing my eyes on hers. Stop doubting me, she whispered. Feel me. Trust this. Trust us. My pulse hammered. You can't use a kiss to silence me. She smirked softly. Then why didn't you stop me? I exhaled hard, guilt crawling through me. Because I can't. She smiled like she had one. Exactly, I tried to steady my voice. But if you're lying about him, what's to stop you from lying to me? She leaned closer, her breath warm against my ear. Maybe I lie to survive. Maybe I lie to keep control. But with you, I give myself away. Isn't that enough? Her words tangled inside me, leaving me torn between doubt and desire. I need more than maybe, I said quietly. She kissed me again. Softer this time, almost tender. Then take it from me now. I'm here with you, not with him. Isn't that what you wanted all along? My chest ached with conflict. I don't want to destroy him. Her lips brushed my jaw. Then don't. Just keep our secret. I closed my eyes, letting her linger against me, but deep down a seed of suspicion kept growing. Later that night, after she left my room, I pulled on my jacket. My hand slipped into the pocket and froze, a small gold earring. Hers. Panic rushed through me. I had never seen her drop it. Before I could hide it, the door opened. Marcus walked in, his face relaxed at first. Then his eyes fell on the earring in my hand. He picked it up slowly, holding it between his fingers. His gaze lifted to me, sharp and searching. Oliver, he said carefully, why is Elena's earring in your jacket pocket? The room spun. My throat closed. The secret we had fought to bury was suddenly dangling between us. Glittering under the light, Marcus's eyes burned into me as he held up the gold earring. Explain, he demanded. His voice low, but sharp enough to cut through me. My throat felt dry. It's not what you think. His grip tightened on the earring. Then tell me what it is. Because this looks bad. Really bad. I took a step closer, hands raised. She must have dropped it in my room. That's all. Nothing happened. Marcus's jaw clenched. In your room. Why was she even in your room, Oliver? Before I could answer, Alina appeared in the doorway. Her timing was perfect, too perfect. Marcus, she said softly, eyes wide with feigned surprise. What's going on?" He turned to her, holding out the earring. "This, I found it in his jacket pocket." Her gaze flickered to me for a fraction of a second, then back to Marcus. Her face shifted into practiced innocence. "Oh no," she breathed, placing a hand over her chest. "I was looking everywhere for that." Marcus's glare stayed locked on me. "How did it end up with him?" Alina stepped between us, her voice trembling just enough to sound convincing. "I must have dropped it when I asked Oliver to help me carry the groceries inside. Remember yesterday, Marcus? I had too many bags. He was just being kind." I felt my stomach twist. Her lie rolled out so easily, smooth as silk, designed to make me look like the fool. "That doesn't explain why it was in his pocket." "Right," Marcus snapped. Her eyes glistened as she turned to him. "Maybe I brushed against him, maybe it slipped. I don't know. But I swear, Marcus, you know me. You know I'd never." Her voice broke, and she covered her mouth as if fighting back tears. I stared at her, speechless. She was painting herself as the victim, and every word trapped me deeper. Marcus looked between us, his chest heaving. "Oliver, are you telling me she's lying?" My pulse raced. "I'm telling you she's not being honest with either of us. Marcus, listen to me. She plays games. She twists everything. She'll stop," he barked, cutting me off. Alina reached for his arm, her voice fragile. "Don't listen to him. He's been acting strange for weeks. He keeps looking at me in ways that make me uncomfortable. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to ruin your friendship." Her words landed like a hammer. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. "That's not true," I shouted. "Marcus, you know me. You know I'd never do," I roared. "Because right now I don't know anything. I don't know why her earring was in your pocket. I don't know why you can't give me a straight answer. And I don't know why the hell I feel like my best friend is lying to my face." Alina buried her face against his shoulder. "Please don't fight. I can't stand this." Marcus's hand rested on her back protectively, his fury redirected at me. "You crossed the line, Oliver." "No," I said desperately, stepping forward. "She's making it look that way, but it's not what it seems. You've known me your whole life. Do you really think I'd betray you like this?" His eyes hardened. "I don't know what to think anymore, but I do know one thing. If you cared about me, you'd stay away from her." From now on, Elena's face tilted just enough for me to see the faintest smile tugging at her lips. A smile Marcus never noticed. My chest collapsed in on itself. "Marcus, please," he cut me off, his voice final and cold. "We're done. Don't come near her again." The words landed like a blade, slicing through years of trust and loyalty. I wanted to fight, to scream the truth, but the sight of him holding her close, believing her lies over my honesty, left me hollow. I stood there, frozen, watching as Alina clung to him with crocodile tears. My best friend turned his back on me, and I realized in that moment that she had one, at least for now. I stayed away for days. No calls, no messages, no visits. I drowned myself in work, convincing myself it was better this way. Every time I saw Marcus's name flash on my phone, I froze, wondering if he wanted to hear me out, or if he was just reminding me I had lost him. I never picked up, but she found me anyway. I opened my door one night to see Alina leaning against the frame, her arms crossed, her smile sharper than any blade. "You've been hiding," she said. "I've been surviving," I answered. She stepped inside without asking, closing the door behind her. "Surviving without me. That doesn't sound like you." I shook my head. "You don't get to say that. Not after what you did." Her laugh was low, sultry, but with an edge. "What I did? Oliver Marcus was always going to turn on you. All I did was speed it up. He hates you already. You might as well be mine." Her words sank like poison, heavy and sweet. "Do you even hear yourself?" I asked. "You tore apart the one friendship I could never replace. You think that makes me want you?" She tilted her head, stepping closer. "You're lying to yourself. You want me more now than ever? The danger excites you. Admit it." I clenched my fists, forcing myself to hold her gaze. "What I feel is regret." She reached out, her fingers brushing along my arm. No, what you feel is me, and you can't let go. I caught her wrist, stopping her touch. You're toxic, Alina. Her eyes narrowed, but her lips curved. Toxic feels good sometimes. You think I don't see how you look at me? The way your voice changes when you tell yourself not to want me? You've already chosen. My chest tightened. Chosen what? To let you ruin me? To burn everything I built with Marcus? That's not a choice. That's destruction. Her eyes darkened, voice soft and sharp at the same time. Maybe destruction is exactly what you crave. Safe men bore me. You're not safe, Oliver. That's why I picked you. I stepped back, shaking my head. Picked me? I was never a person to you. Just a game. Just a rebellion against him. She smirked. And you played better than I thought you would. The words hit harder than any slap. My stomach twisted as I finally saw her clearly, not a girl in need of saving. Not someone fragile under her brother's shadow, but someone who thrived on chaos. Who fed off control? You don't want love, I said, my voice breaking. You want to own people. You want to break them and watch what's left. Her smirk didn't fade. And you let me. The silence after those words was suffocating. I felt my body shaking, not from desire, but from anger, shame, betrayal, all tangled together. She reached for my face, her nails grazing my cheek. You'll come back. They always do. This time, I caught her hand and shoved it away. Not me. Her expression faltered for the first time, her confidence cracking as she stared at me. You don't mean that, she whispered. I forced my voice steady. I do. For the first time since this began, I walked past her and opened the door. My chest pounded as I pointed to the hallway. Leave, Alina. Her eyes searched mine, desperate to find the weakness she had always relied on. But I gave her nothing. Finally, she stepped out, her voice low and venomous as she passed me. You'll regret this. The door closed, and for the first time in weeks, I could breathe. But even as relief washed over me, a hollow ache stayed behind. I knew she wasn't gone. Not really. She would come back because that's who Alina was, and I had to be ready. Asterisk. I sat at the cafe window, stirring a coffee I barely tasted. The world outside felt different these days, quieter, like it finally gave me room to breathe. Months had passed since everything collapsed. Marcus still hadn't spoken a single word to me. Alina was gone, off chasing her chaos somewhere else, and me. I was learning to live with the scars she left behind. The bell above the cafe door rang. Liam dropped into the chair across from me. Still hiding out here? He asked, not hiding. Thinking, I said. You've been thinking for months? Has it helped? I know one thing now, I muttered. Desire without trust is poison. Liam leaned back, studying me. So you finally see her for what she was? Yeah, she never wanted love. She wanted control. Chaos. She fed on it, and you fed her right back. I let out a bitter laugh. I did, and it cost me everything. He tapped the table. Marcus will come around one day. I shook my head. He saw me as his brother. Then he saw me as the one who betrayed him. That doesn't heal. Maybe not. But Alina? She won't win. People like her always burn themselves out. I wanted to believe him, but I stayed silent. Later that night, I walked through the city, hands in my pockets, letting the lights blur past me. That's when I saw her, Alina. She stood across the street under a neon sign, her arm linked with a tall man in a tailored suit. His hand rested lazily on her hip, but his eyes scanned the crowd like she was already replaceable. I froze. Liam's words echoed in my head. People like her always burn themselves out. The man leaned down, whispered something in her ear, then stepped away to answer his phone. She was left standing there alone for just a moment. That's when her gaze swept across the street and locked on me. My stomach tightened. She smiled. Not soft, not shy. A faint, daring curve of her lips, like a challenge. Like she knew I would always want her no matter how much she ruined. I shook my head slowly. She tilted hers. as if inviting me to cross the street. To play her game again? Don't? I whispered under my breath. But my body didn't move forward. Not this time. Her smile flickered, then hardened into something else. Something almost cold. The man came back, slid his arm around her, and she leaned into him without hesitation. Yet for a split second, her eyes never left mine. She was daring me to fall again. I turned away. The next morning, Liam called. "You okay?" "I saw her last night," I said. His voice tensed. "Did you talk to her?" "No." She smiled like nothing had happened. Like she still owned me. "But she doesn't. That's the first smart thing you've said in months." I exhaled. I think I finally get it. She never loved me. She loved the power she had over me. And I gave it to her every time I couldn't say no. Silence filled the line for a second. Then Liam asked, "And now?" "And now, I walk away." That night I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My chest still ached when I thought of Marcus. The wound of his silence cut deeper than Alina ever could. But for the first time, I felt like I wasn't chained to her anymore. I remembered the way her smile looked across that street. A spark of challenge, a dare to repeat history. But I hadn't moved. That was my answer sometimes. The person you can't resist is exactly the one you should run from.